This was really funny. Apparently, they were trying to make this happen too. They were like really mad that I wasn't talking about like Mr. Beast's friend who was being weird in Discord and like talking to minors or some. It's like even in the video, I'm like, bro, it's a election where like the former president got shot at. Like, I don't got time to talk about YouTube. Like, what are you, insane? They're like,
like the controversy turns out to be like that she like bought art from Shadman like 7 years ago, right? I think that was like everyone apparently has done that. I had no idea. I barely know who that guy is. I read like a wiki about him, and it's like, hey, a lot of
excuse you were on me for that too. Oh damn, man. Well, you know, when you got Jason the Ween doubling his view count when he's trying to desperately farm as much drama as he possibly can. You got to do what you got to do, baby. You know what I mean? Hey, I hope that kickback was worth it.
If I talked about a Shadman scandal on my show, I would be killed by my listeners, and they would be right. They don't care about that.
No, like that
Shadman. They don't know who that is.
No, that Shadman person is like gross. Even I had like known about him being like a weird dude who's like a. Right. I think he got like arrested or something. And he would like make lolly porn. But ultimately, like the thing that they immediately ran to wasn't like, oh, this person is like in Discord talking to a 13, 14-year-old. I think it was a 13-year-old or 14-year-old, which is weird and gross. And in my opinion, completely unacceptable. Just don't do that. I don't know how the people do that. But beyond that, they were like, this is how trans people are. And it's like, bro, Dr. Disrespect is a 35-year-old man with a wife and a child at the time who was trying to a minor, openly admitted that, okay, said inappropriate messages or whatever, and literally no one was like, this is how every white guy is like, you know what I mean? Like, what the are we talking about?
Yeah, no. And that like guy that she bought or commissioned art from, I'm not really sure, but like someone did a thread, like apparently like tons of weird YouTube people I have not heard of who are all over this thing, like loved that guy. There was like a mega thread.
Yeah, it was
of Shadman interactions. I had no idea he was like that popular and weird.
Dude, I don't understand it. What I do understand is like both Mr. Beast and Ava as well, like way back in the day were edgelords. Like they straight up were. Obviously things change over the course of like a decade, but they 100% were like, I mean, I remember like seeing old videos before Ava realized that she was trans of like them both making attack helicopter jokes. You know what I mean? Like they were classic, like edgy white boys on the internet. Like that was the way that they were operating for the most part. Of course, that wasn't a problem back then. And it's like now they're using it to be like, oh, see these guys, because like Ava is trans and Mr. Beast stood by her, that it's like, now it's a problem. Even though like the guys that are doing that are like defending Dr. Respect in the same breath. It's very weird. You can just say it's weird and gross, you know, it's okay.
Yeah,
and without trying to like connect it.
How much coverage do you have to do about it?
Yeah,
like Jesus Christ.
The funniest part was like there was like the person who's 20 now, right, being like, oh, I wasn't groomed, like it wasn't like that. We're in a Discord, we were saying inappropriate and edgy to one another. It's like up, I get it. Everyone's saying like I was groomed or whatever, and then every response was, how much did Mr. Beast pay you? You idiot, you.
It would be funny if Mr. Beast bribed you, but he did it in the style of his videos. Yeah. Like, all right, I'm going to pay you off, but you have to live in a Costco for a year.
Yeah. There's some weird Mr. Beast clips coming out about him joking about buying black people and gotten so weird. Yeah, no, like that's what I mean. Like he was edgy white boy doing that kind of before he became like this powerhouse.
This is the problem with everyone.
And they're doing cancel culture to him because he stood by his trans friend. Like they're trying to punish him with the same exact way, because they were like, you didn't your best friend who's trans when we demanded you do so. So now we're gonna cancel you with like all your old videos.
People have just such like deliberately short memories too. I feel like my timeline, like the recognized timeline of like how things were on the internet, I feel like it's pretty easy to understand, right? Like, you know, let's say middle or end of the second Bush administration into like 2015. Like have you ever seen those old like Neil Patrick Harris, any old celebrity tweets? Michael Ian Black, Neil Patrick Harris, any of them.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like you go to any post that a celebrity made, a certain type of celebrity made in like 2011, and it's like what people think Eminem songs are like, where they're like, I'm gonna a dog.
Yeah.
And that was 100 retweets.
Yeah.
And then around 2014, you start like, people were like, okay, we hate that. And now you, I don't know, you have to do videos about conspicuous maliteracy. And then that was the thing for a while. And then it got rolled back. But like, I thought it was like a recognized thing that a lot of these people had like an edgelord, or not even edgelord. That was just like the norm.
It was
for a while on the internet.
For the record, I was around back then. I thought it was gross back then too. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that like people weren't thinking that this was like weird and inappropriate to say or do even back then. It was. It's just that like people grow out of it. I think that a lot of people did grow out of it. And it's funny that people that didn't grow out of it, or rather lean into that right now in 2024, are the very same people who are being like, no, but you say that now we got to cancel you. And it's like, I can see your post right now in between.
It's such a self-contradictory thing, right? Like, getting like I don't know what Mr. Beast said in like 2013 or whatever. He was probably like 9. He was probably like a viable fetus at that point. But he like saying like, like dumb 2013 internet shit. Like, while you're like yelling at him for that, your most recent retweet is like, I'm glad the cops killed that woman.
Yeah. In any case, like, sadly, you can't humiliate these people with hypocrisy. They lack shame. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, I'm not like defending any of these old videos of Mr. Beast or anyone else, or like even the messages that that Ava was sending. I will, however, reiterate that like, if you're immediately going, see, I told you, trans people are groomers or pedophiles, then you're a weirdo. Okay, a total weirdo. Mr. Beast was 13 in 2013. Yeah.
See? Yeah. No.
He wasn't 9. He was 13.
I, on the other hand, I support anything that anybody said in 2013. Anyone in chat, anyone who's famous, anyone who's not. I support all of it.
What? Do you grow out of being trans if you don't take sterilization drugs? You're the one saying that? Like, these guys don't even care, dude. Like, Ava could have murdered someone and they wouldn't give a about that. They'd be like, I told you, all trans people are murderers. You know what I mean? Like, he just immediately gave the game away. He's not like, oh, you're not even, you couldn't even sit there and like, even for 3.5 seconds be like, I care about the victims and you don't, or something. You know what I mean? Like, immediately he's like, oh, what about these gender drugs that everyone's taking? Like, no, you're supposed to at least like posture like you give a shit about the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do. I think it's weird. It gross, for the record. It seems like you don't give a, especially if it's like one of your favorite content creators doing it. Isn't Ava stuff made up? No, there's a lot of like misinfo out there. There's obviously, because they can't just like let it be weird and gross and definitely completely and utterly inappropriate. They just got to also make additional up, like make additional clips up in order to be like, no, see, like they're trying to, this person was trying to people, like 100% children.
It is weird to have like a minor in your Discord.
Yes.
I only think they should be employees.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying, dude.
I don't have...
Make them work at the coal mines, dude. What are we doing?
I won't even have a social engagement with someone who's like 19, even if they're in my family. Even if they're like, can you come to my graduation for the Montessori school? No. But if you were 5 years younger, you could be my employee. Yeah. And I'd never speak to you. And you'd have to guess what your job is.
They don't actually care about the crimes committed. They just want to weaponize it, direct harassment towards you, Charlie, Pokey, etc. Yeah, that's like the funniest part, because they just like immediately gave the game away when they just like, I guess a video came out. I didn't even watch this video. How the am I supposed to keep up with like all the drama, especially like when world-changing events happening at a rapid clip, and I'm a political commentator, and they basically in a matter of like 3.5 seconds went from like, if you didn't watch this video, summarize it and immediately start talking about how every trans person is a, you are actually complicit in the crimes. Like, they don't even do like the silence is violence narratives, like silence is complicity. Like, they didn't even do that. They're like, you are actually grooming children. Like, what the like, what are you talking about, dude?
Like, there is also like, do you remember those guys who were campaigning for Lee Zeldin in New York?
Yeah, the ones that go crime. That's what they're doing.
I always thought, like, don't get me wrong, Kathy Hochul, horrible candidate, terrible. Put her in ADX Florence with Matthew Miller. But like, I always thought that like that must have like turned people off of Zeldin, because it makes it seem like you're happy that crime is happening.
Yeah,
like you're cheering. You're like, go crime. It's making this Kathy Molecule lady look bad. And it's the same thing here, where it's like they're happy. Like they they thought someone got groomed and they're like happy about it.
In your mind, you're looking at a situation and you're like a minor was predated on, okay? And your immediate reaction is not to like look at the situation, see what the actions were or whatever. And your immediate situation is like, this is really gross, and a lot of content creators are not talking about it because I made up my mind. They're all in on it. And it's like, I know XQC was one of those people, like, yeah, they're too afraid to call out a trans person. Like, they immediately invent like a narrative in their minds too. It's like, no, man, I don't, like, there's no cover up or conspiracy. You're delusional. All those weirdos on Twitter can't help but turn drama into a team sport and act as everyone's taking sides. Yeah, I know. There's never been a moment in my life where I've seen, like, I don't know, someone get shot at, right? Like Donald Trump gets shot at, and I immediately go, oh, like Brianna Wu, immediately go, oh, how can I make this about my least favorite content creator?
Yeah.
She did that with me. She was like, I don't know who Trump got shot at. And like 30 minutes later, Brianna Wu was posting about how like I'm responsible for Trump getting shot.
I thought that was so crazy because the guy Thomas Crooks, the guy who shot at Donald Trump, he actually shot at Trump because he made a mobile game. And he was the same guy who tried to snipe Brianna Wu in 2015. It's the exact same sniper.
Yeah, he
just hates mobile games.
Yeah.
That guy cannot stand them. Don't try to sell him a mobile game. He'll freak out.
Do you think Biden is going to talk about the mass amounts of bird flu? No. If Biden doesn't address the Mr. Beast drama, he's complicit. Biden is actually doing this to address it.
Like, just let him do it. Try to tell him what happened and see what he says. Yeah. It would be so fun for everyone. I think it would like unite everyone. We need more things that like unite America.
Yeah. Oh, the other person was drama alert. When Trump got shot, they took my reaction to it and were like, Hasan Piker, low IQ political streamer, thinks that Donald Trump staged his own assassination. I was like, I'm not saying that at all in the clip. Like, why are you claiming that? And you put the full clip there. I'm not saying that at all. Like, how is this your first like thing? How is this your first reaction?
I was thinking today that Keemstar is like, he's the closest thing we have to like a modern and real like Charles Foster Kane from Citizen Kane.
Who?
Keemstar?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Do you remember that video that we watched like 2 years ago where it was like covering, I forget what it was even covering, but you were involved. And it's like, it showed like a short clip of you and he went, as you can see, Hasan's a disgusting person.
Yeah.
Like his narration is so good.
Oh, this was awesome. He said he quote retweeted and said, if you support Hasan Piker, unfollow me. I don't F with any of you people at all. Why?
Damn, he's standing on business.
Yeah, because I'm not taking the Trump assassination seriously enough. It's like
I want to direct the Citizen Kane movie about him.
Yeah.
He thinks he's newsroom, but I think he's better than Jeff
What is this?
Daniels.
Oh, this is from July 13th. Hasan Piker is so anti-American. Please ship to another country anywhere but here. He's literally falling off, so he's just clickbaiting for attention. I know. I've fallen off so spectacularly that I can only serve the top of the hour ad break to 50,000 people. It's just the fall off.
I didn't even see.
The fall off is so severe, dude. It's just really up. It's really bad. I'm sorry. Also, Hasan saying that Trump did it for views makes me laugh because Hasan has to expose his body for Twitch views.
Okay, yeah. Look, I have to leave the room so you can go jack off on cam. The thing you're always doing.
He's not wrong.
Hasan has signed an exclusive deal with Joystick. He's going to be doing the same political commentary you like, but the only camera will be on a hole in his pants. His penis and balls. The same commentary, but that's all you're going to see.
That's what he's talking about. I have to expose
his dick and balls against a green screen. I love Biden speaking.
I love Jose Cuellar calling me a hussy. Like, that's like,
see that.
That's awesome. Thank you, sir. Mr. Beast update for the record. he's posted about the Ava Chris Tyson situation. Over the last few days, I've become aware of serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online. I'm disgusted and posted such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with Mr. Beast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. Third party investigation? No, it's just like Mr. Beast is a massive international brand.
Yeah, this is the same thing that like ExxonMobil does. You hire a law firm that does an investigation, blah, blah, blah.
The thing is, Jimmy knew ChatGPT. No, this isn't ChatGPT. This is like an actual good lawyer that, like, no.
This is a lawyer that you don't get from Twitter.
Yeah, this is not Elon Musk style situation. Most written with legal advice ever. Yeah. So this is straight up like a swift exit. I mean, what else is he supposed to do? Yeah, I mean, I don't expect him to do anything else in this circumstance. Yeah, he's gonna conduct an investigation. I mean, it makes total sense given not only what the actions are, which is like weird text messages in a Discord server where there's like minors present. I think one of the minor who came out who's like now 20 was like, I was not predated on, I was not groomed, but it doesn't matter. Like the messages speak for themselves. And beyond that, the fact that Ava is trans, of course, does not help cause any sort of sympathy from anybody that looks at that, regardless, especially because it was like greatly boosted by a lot of people. It was greatly boosted by a lot of people that immediately jumped on it to be like, yo, this is every trans person is a groomer. We got it. Like, we found it. Even if what she said wasn't gross, which I think what she did was gross for the record, but even if what she did wasn't even gross or inappropriate, weird, people would have still made this a PR nightmare regardless. And it happens to be a situation where it is like, it does absolutely hit the weirdness. The Shad allegations are an entirely different story. It's like, that's the type of that like I find personally unconscionable and gross, and it's like lolly is completely unacceptable, except ain't nobody's taken down all these people who apparently were all associated with Shad. Like literally every content creator in the edgy meme space has been like associated.
Weird.
Yeah.
How does
like
it's like Ehud Barak going to Epstein's house. It's the same thing where it's like, how can you need hentai this badly? Like how are you this hard up for like hentai? I don't even understand being into hentai in the first place, but like wanting it that bad that you're like talking to this guy and like,
I think it was because like it's just clout, right? Like I think a lot of people don't give it. Keemstar has apparently been understandably on a tear against anyone that has done business with Shad because Shad drew sexual art of that is perhaps almost equivalent to all of the other allegations and all of the other crimes that, from what I understand, this dude engaged in, which is making Keemstar a valid victim. Okay, because Keemstar absolutely is a valid victim in this situation. It is completely inexcusable. It is completely unacceptable. Like I can't even imagine how that is, like, how broken are you that you think that is like remotely appropriate to do? It's not even edgy at that point. It's just like freak. That's it.
I think any parent would have the exact same reaction, or at least I hope they would.
In 2017, Shadman was actually way more popular than anybody drawing lolly should have been. In an unrelated note, that's when the Nazis were popping off as well. Yeah. Isn't he also a Nazi? He's like a Nazi pedophile, right? Shad was arrested at one point for tracing CSAM to make lolly.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like I said, there are a lot of people who are looking at this to be like, see, I told you all trans people are groomer, pedophiles, like the weirdos, whatever the and those guys are freaks. In the immediate aftermath of Dr. Disrespect's story, nobody went around and went, every white man is a pedophile freak, okay? Like, you have this weird tendency. A lot of people have this weird tendency when it's like a black person doing a crime. Oh, this is how all black people are, is like the immediate reaction. Whenever a marginalized community member does something that is inappropriate or, you know, completely illegal, right? Everybody jumps on the bandwagon to be like, everyone is responsible. Every person of this background has done this. And, you know, it didn't happen with Cody Co either. Ain't nobody ran around saying all white men are doing this. It doesn't even happen in terms of like all YouTubers in general, even though many YouTubers have been caught doing this kind of, or many streamers in general have been caught doing this kind of. It doesn't work that way. Obviously, when you're a marginalized person, you are absolutely held to a different standard. And and that is precisely what people are trying to do. I'm not gonna lie, if you're an adult interacting with minors on Discord, Twitter, etc. on a daily basis is very weird. I agree.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Is that comment that Jimmy made about Bad Baby real? Yes, of course. That's the other side of the story, is that like he and Ava were like very 2016, 2014, 2015, 2013. They were all edgy. They were all like super edgy content creators that like made pedophilia jokes all the time. The problem is, for Ava at least, she had not come out or even recognized that she was trans back then. So of course, when they were popping off, they were defended and seen as like edgy white boys. You know what I mean? That's the difference. Wasn't Mr. Beast 11 in 2016? Yeah, they were young, but like that's the other side of it. It's just like they're still kind of young, if I'm not mistaken.
In general, I just don't like the idea of like holding people's like public posts they made when they were like even 16 against them.
Yeah, they were 16 in 2016. 20 talking to kids is nasty though. 100%.
Yeah.
You will never. I will. That's insane. I will never argue against that.
Right. No, these are like two different thoughts.
I don't know who you would be speaking to in that situation, because I'm not like, no, you know, it's acceptable actually. Like, no, it's not. It's completely unacceptable. Jimmy was 18 in 2016, not 16. Okay, regardless. Bro, okay, he was young as is my point. Okay, he's a teenager at that point. That's not a good enough excuse regardless, because again, I remember that time online. I was online at that time, and let me tell you, I was getting harassed pretty much, not to the same degree of course, but I didn't have the same like security and the same safety net or the community at the time. But I was at the Young Turks and I was getting on nonstop by all the edgy white boy YouTubers. Not to say that that was what Mr. Beast was doing, but like pretty much the entire space was very aggro back then, which is why I always bring that up. Like the internet has definitely gotten a lot better. It's getting significantly worse now with Twitter, but like I remember like that era, 2014, like the Gamergate era was pretty bad. There was not really a lot of avenues for leftist content. Like that didn't really exist.